Imagine you're a headphone company. You've got a great landing page, managed to get clients yourself, and don't rely on anyone else for exposure. You've also invested quite a bit in creating a decent distribution network. Decent meaning a modest 2 to 4 day delivery. But unless your headphones have the perfect bass and treble combination, you'll still have to deal with other brands in the market. Except that your competition uses Amazon fulfillment. Yes, they do pay a not-so-modest average of 13% per item plus an additional fee. But with 1 day shipping, they can lure enough customers to more than make up the difference. While you struggle and sweat to ensure deliveries are on time, Amazon can do everything overnight. Having a superior product is great and all, but research shows that 25% of customers won't consider buying if it isn't shipped in 2 days or less. What's worse is that 2/3 are willing to pay a premium to get it early. Guess who's capitalizing on that? Through the years, Amazon has built one of the most intricate but efficient supply chains. It's partnered with several regional and global logistics companies, made deliveries with drones, paid less tax than sausage stalls in Austria, and bossed the online retail space, making more revenue than the next 9 biggest retailers combined. Since the inception of Prime in 2005, Amazon has consistently stayed ahead of the game. Unlimited 2-day shipping was a luxury unheard of at the time, and just when it seems others have caught up, they've raised the stakes again. Amazon's fulfillment network consists of several types of facilities with different roles in the supply chain. There are inbound cross-dock centers which receive goods from vendors, inbound and outbound sortation centers, return centers, delivery stations, airport hubs, Prime Now hubs, whole food distribution centers, and a few others. Building more facilities means a rise in inventory costs, but in the long run, this reduces transportation costs. Every so often, a new distribution center is built when the volume of deliveries in an area is large and profitable enough to invest in. For Bezos, it's always about playing the long game, except for the Fire Phone. That was pretty short-lived. At the heart of the storage and distribution network are fulfillment centers. Amazon has more than 250 of these globally. Fulfillment centers are massive facilities. The largest one is around 93,000 square meters in size. It is here that most of the products are brought in from vendors, inspected to make sure they meet standards, organized into shelves, and later shipped in the appropriate packaging when an order is placed. When that happens, your package along with others near you is collected by external logistics drivers, who deliver them to their respective airport hubs. Now, Amazon does have its own fleet of planes and trailer trucks, but they're only responsible for a fraction of the packages. Its air fleet of 50 is still relatively small compared to 251 of UPS, or the 650 strong of FedEx. More on this later. At last comes the time to deliver the package from the nearest warehouse to the customer's doorstep. How hard can that be? Ironically, the last mile, as it's called, is the costliest part of the entire journey, with estimates suggesting up to 53% of the total cost per package. Shipping in bulk is always cheaper, and as the number of items reduce, the cost per item increases. Then there's geography. In rural areas, 2 consecutive delivery stops could be miles apart. Cities, on the other hand, have less deviation but more traffic. The last mile issue affects all e-commerce companies. Just look at Walmart, which, despite having stores less than 10 miles away from 90% of the US, is still spending billions trying to figure efficient ways to ship products. For the last mile, Amazon mostly relies on third-party logistics providers like UPS or FedEx. Outsourcing not only means higher rates, but also not being able to control customer experience for the last part of the journey. But that's going to change. Amazon has been increasingly reducing dependency on other carriers. It's leasing more planes, buying more trucks, and baiting more students into its self-delivery program. 1/4 of all shipments are now handled by itself. So, to recap, the vendor ships the inventory to a warehouse or warehouses. From there, the inventory is distributed among other branches as needed. A combination of their own freight system and others is used to get the packages to the closest shipping hub, and from there to the customer's house. But Amazon isn't slowing down. Its 6-year-old plan to start flying shipments in drones is almost ready. Drone delivery, if perfected, could drastically change the last mile economics, especially in those areas discussed previously. And let's not forget the environmental benefits compared to traditional modes of transport. As of 2019, fulfillment centers have over 100,000 robots working 24/7, with more being added every year. With advancing development and automation, the next 10 years could be very different for supply chains. Soon, one-day shipping will no longer be a privilege, but a standard, which all businesses will strive to maintain. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and maybe check out my other videos.